Hey YouTube, Dr. Sean Lemire. I'm a health and performance optimizing physician here to give you a nice little video to talk to you about some new insights about how to optimize your health, what you should do, and how you can measure certain things to find out how healthy and really how well you're doing with those strategies and other strategies. If I ask you a question, how would you know what you're doing is working? You might say, well, my muscles are getting bigger or I feel better, but what else should you be paying attention to? What are other things that are more important, in my opinion, to be tracking? And that's what I concentrate on as a health and performance optimizing physician. I'm a dedicated researcher. I've been researching the space for almost 11 years, and I find it absolutely fascinating. It's my passion. So in this video, I'm going to get into what you got to measure, what you got to follow, what you got to do. I'm also going to share with you, hopefully all the way. Stay tuned to the end. I know people say that, but if you sign out, you're going to miss out on some of this interesting content. Look, I'm a little bit of a dork. I'm not super cool. I don't have really cool stuff around me, but I've got very interesting content that is important for you to learn so you can optimize yourself. So stay tuned. I guarantee I'm going to share stuff that you've never heard before and things that nobody else is sharing. Why? Because I'm the guy who lays in bed at night thinking about how to solve the world's biggest problem. So stay tuned. In this video, I'm going to share what that is. I'm going to share those strategies that I figure out that nobody else is that interested in figuring out like I am. Not sure why I'm so caught up in all this, but I really am. It's just my wiring. This is what I want to do. So we'll get into that, talk to you about these strategies. I'm going to share these tips so that you know not only how to get healthy, but how you know what I'm doing is getting healthy. So one thing I'm going to be talking about is what to watch in your urine. Yeah, I know, your urine. So what I'm going to get into is specifically when you pee at home or pee anywhere, how do you know whether you're healthy or something's going wrong? I'm going to give you some tips to think about that you haven't heard before. So it'd be interesting for you to pay attention to that. And then what to watch when you drink water. What should you be paying attention when you're drinking water, so you have an idea about that as well. Another interesting marker for how you know whether you're doing a good job with bringing that water in, whether you're doing a good job with blood flow, what we call perfusion, how your blood is moving around and how that's related to urine. I'm also going to get into what to watch in particular for a certain color, very interesting color, green urine. Yeah, green urine. Have you ever had it? Do you know what it is? Do you know how you get it? I bet you don't. I'm going to get into it and why I think it's an awesome thing. I've looked on the internet, nobody else is talking about this, but I'm going to share it with you because one, if you follow me, I want to know if you start getting this, if you do what I'm doing, because I think it's an awesome thing. So we'll get into what causes me to get green urine and see if you can start acquiring that capability too. And then also to pay attention what happens when you eat, an interesting marker of health when you eat that I want to share that's innovative and other people aren't talking about. And what's one superfood that you should be eating and how you know whether you're getting a maximal amount of that and whether it's working out appropriately, and other related beneficial foods too. I'm going to get into in this video also the differences a little bit that I have seen between grass-fed, 100% grass-fed, 100% grass-finished, not just grass-fed, but grass-finished, maximally grass-provided, no grains or as little as possible in this meat, and how that differs from grain-fed beef, something that I've noticed because I pay attention. I follow this like crazy. So I've tested multiple times, and I'm going to share with you, and you can tell me, jump back in here, be a part of my subscribing community, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, and give me feedback because I want to hear about whether this is going to happen to you. So I talk about innovative strategies and metrics no one else is paying attention, because this is my passion. Other people, they give you little tips about, you know, how to get healthy and stuff, but I am tracking innovative things. I'm not the same old like everybody else. I'm very, very different. So follow me and see, particularly if you want to be the very best biological version of yourself that you can possibly be, then you're going to want to follow me. So at the end of this video, hopefully if you like it, give it a like and consider subscribing to me and share it with other people. Okay, so let's get into this stuff. This will be super interesting. So first of all, let's get into urine, okay? Right away with something that I've noticed about my urine that's very different. One, I blast like I've never been blasting before since I was like 16, 17, 18 years of age. It just gradually goes away. But now it's like Niagara Falls. I mean, when I'm outside, I serve in the Army, if you guys don't know that. And sometimes we don't have the luxury of a bathroom. So we're out in the field. And no longer is it mine a little tiny dribble. Mine is shooting out like it used to when I was a young kid. So that is a big improvement on me. And if you are young and you're healthy and yours can shoot that out, great. More power to you. I hope you hold on to that capability. But the vast majority of people, guys, lose that capability. I can't really speak to about women. Not sure what happens there. You guys will have to talk about that, but amongst yourselves, figure that out. But the ability to empty your urine is really important, and you want to be very effective about that. So here's a very interesting thing. I am a dad of 5 kids, okay? That's not so interesting, but what is interesting is that I learned you got 5 kids and you're driving in a family vacation in a car, you give kids fluid and they gotta pee. And one of the reasons is they're very healthy. So you put fluid in, they make urine very quickly because their blood flow is so good, it pushes it right to their kidneys and their kidneys make urine. Now, old people can drink fluids, and old people may be peeing all the time because for other reasons, they may have incontinence, they may have a bad prostate, so they're constantly having to pee a little bit. But as a direct reflection of their ability to first absorb water and then get into the bloodstream and make pee is compromised. Let's talk about that absorption. So what's happening there? You have these cells called epithelial cells that line inside of your gut. So epithelial cells are the exact same cells that are on your skin. So very interestingly, your skin, the cells inside your gut are exactly the same cells, epithelial cells, on the outside of your body. So it's fascinating to me. It's technically why your gut, the inside of your gut, is outside your body. So it's interesting. Things have to be absorbed through that. To the extent that you can absorb things, the more healthy you can be. Now, if you can't absorb things, or you're absorbing things that are bad, then you have a compromised health system. So you want the healthiest skin and the healthiest gut line. We could call it, skin in your gut. You want that to be the healthiest it can possibly be. So old people, they get bad looking skin. So a hallmark of good health is beautiful skin. It's the largest organ in your body. You want it to be healthy. It provides a lot of functionality, and your gut is absolutely critical. And the magic happens at those epithelial cells, and surrounding that is the microbiome. And we're going to get into that in other future videos, not this particular one, but trust me, you are, if you're going to follow me, find out about the microbiome. So those cells around your gut, have you ever once thought how well they're functioning? You better start thinking about that, because that defines your ability to bring in all the magic, all the goodness, all those molecules. And as you age, your capacity for doing that becomes compromised, and you just can't absorb the nutrients. And what happens is you get older, emaciated, and diseased through the chronic disease. So you want to maintain the health of those gut, the health of your gut, by maintaining the health of those cells. So right away, a good measure of your health of your gut is how quickly you absorb that water. So when you drink water, if you quickly absorb it, and then if your kidneys, your blood flow works well, you'll deliver that water to your kidneys. And if your kidneys are performing well because they're perfused well, they're getting good blood supply, and the magic in the kidneys is happening, you're going to make urine quickly. And so that becomes an effective insight. So if you're a really healthy person, you will begin to make urine very quickly if your hydration status is normal with drinking water, if it's normal level. If you're dehydrated, your body's going to tell you hold on to it. So that's assuming you're in a normal hydration status. You got excess fluids, because you drink that, you're going to make pee right away. So think about ingesting water and how quickly you got to pee as a reflection of how healthy your absorption is in your gut, how healthy your blood flow perfusion is, and how healthy your kidneys function, and it's a nice reflection. Here's another thing to think about. I have observed that not only do I make urine very much more quickly than I ever have in my life, with the exception of maybe when I was a kid, now with all this gray hair, but something else is happening faster and faster. You know, when you take vitamins, like B vitamins, those yellow ones, and you see yellow in your urine, well, guess what's happening to my urine? I pay attention because other people kind of blow it off. Not this guy. I pay attention to that. Guess what's happening? I make yellow urine so much faster than I did before. Isn't that interesting? So older people, and not so much older people, but more diseased people, can't absorb those vitamins as well. So the degree to which your urine turns yellow is a reflection on the degree to which you can absorb those vitamins. Same amount of vitamins given to a really, really healthy person, they'll have really pronounced yellow urine. Same amount of vitamins given to a diseased person, they're with a disease compromised gut, they're not going to be able to have, they won't make as much dark yellow or the brilliant yellow color. So it's a reflection of how the degree to which your urine turns yellow and then how quickly. So if you absorb it faster, if your gut is healthier, you'll absorb it faster and you'll deliver it faster to your kidneys and you'll make that urine, you'll see it. So yellow B vitamins are one way of measuring, but you can see this in other things, sometimes with the consumption of beets. So we call this beeturia, beet and then urine combination, beeturia. Medical term for blood in the urine, sometimes confused for beeturia, is hematuria, hema meaning blood. So you can see red in your urine, and from consumption of beets and other certain food dyes and things can get in there. But you want natural compounds, you don't want to be consuming artificial. So it's interesting that the B vitamins become a reflection and they give you an indication. So let me talk to you a little bit about another color. So I mentioned to you green urine. So yeah, you've probably seen the B vitamins turn your yellow color, but have you seen anything turn your urine green? Now, it's not green like grass. What it looks like to me is sort of dilute, mildly less fluorescent, radiator fluid, okay? Prestone, radiator fluid. So what I have noticed over a period of time is that, well, first of all, I'll get into what the food is, but in just a moment. But when I eat this certain food, I noticed it the first time and it dissipated over time. So every time I would eat this food, I had it for a period of time. And so I realized it was associated with the ingestion of this food. Okay, I would notice this green color. Now it was, I gotta tell you, I've seen urine all my life, right? I mean, we're guys, we see it. I mean, unless you're looking at your cell phone, you gotta be a weirdo if you're not looking at your urine, I think anyway. But I paid attention to my urine, and my urine has never had this kind of color before. But I have noticed now this color is a really nice color. Like, it's not like the radiator fluid. That's interesting, but that doesn't look like really beautiful. This color is incredibly attractive. It's got a visual characteristic I have never seen in urine. I've seen a lot of urine. I'm a doctor, okay? Vials of this stuff all over my job. Walk around the hospital. I'm in the military. You see soldiers walking around the little cups, and their urine is yellow. It's not good looking. It's not attractive. Sometimes it's dark. But a really healthy person has a really nice color. Let me tell you. Nature tells the story of how healthy we are if we pay attention to it. So when you look at dingy, kind of dark urine, that should tell you that there's not a lot of goodness going on. But this, especially this bright green color, is really a very interesting color. So what is it? What is this superfood that I'm eating that causes it? What it is 100% grass-fed, 100% grass-finished liver, okay? So I eat this liver And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, proviso, you need to figure this out for yourself, talk to your own doctors and make your own decisions. But my liver that I eat, this is the only thing I do pretty much, that I eat this raw, okay? So I take my liver that's been frozen for 2 weeks at minus 10 degrees. I thaw it out, I put it in a blender, and I puree that up, and I immediately drink it. I add a little bit of Redmond's real salt to that, and I add some water to allow me to drink that down. And then I swallow it, I chug it, and I don't particularly care for the taste of liver because I was never raised on liver, so to me it's got a foreign taste to it. But you'll probably like it, but I drink it like a little kid. I hold my nose and I gulp down 14 gulps every single time, and then when my nose is still whole, I swallow it with some some kefir, okay? Get rid of that taste. And then within about an hour of consuming that liver, I'm peeing bright green, this really cool, attractive looking green. And it eventually fades over the course of about a day, and it goes away. Now, what I have noticed, that because I eat 100% grass-fed beef, I have noticed now that fading away has gone away, and now I have a mild amount of this green colored urine that just hangs in there as long as I'm eating grass-fed, grass-finished beef. Now, I have noticed on these 4 occasions where I have did a little bit of a science experiment. It was a sacrifice. I was nervous about doing it, but I did it for the sake of science. I switched and stopped eating the grass-fed beef, and I started eating grain-fed beef, okay? My source, Costco. It's not grass-fed. I buy their steaks, get the New York strip steaks, and for 4 weeks, 4 times, I'd stop and start. When I would go on that grain-fed beef, that conventional grain-fed beef, the beautiful green went away, and it started looking just like more kind of normal urine. But every time I went back on 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef that I normally eat, my green urine would return, but especially when I'd eat this liver. So here's my appeal to you. Are you somebody who's really dedicated to 100% grass-fed, grass-finished? Now, I've been eating that for a while. It's been years, okay? I picked it up. So my guess is, hang in there. You got to do all my optimization tips. You know, you probably have to reach a threshold of optimized health for this to happen. You know, either because you got to absorb it more effectively or process it or whatever is going on there. I don't know. It's just observation sharing. So, you know, onset of visible pulses all over my body, eat grass-fed beef, grass-finished, and now I get this green urine. So you can track that and see if that's happening to you. Now, another interesting thing that happens to me when I eat food is there's a phenomenon known as gastric steel. Okay, so when you put food in your stomach, your gut is swollen and it sends signals out to your body that you need blood to help facilitate the digestion of that food. So your blood leaves your periphery. When it leaves your periphery, it shunts. Okay, so it's moved from the periphery to your gastrointestinal tract, and we call this gastric steel. So basically, the stomach is stealing the blood from other parts in your body. Now, what is happening is I get profoundly cold when I eat this food, and thank God I have a good memory, and I'm like, oh, I have felt this before. And guess when? When I was a little kid, about 4 or 5 years old, I remember this. I would eat food and I'd get really cold. Now, as we get older and we age, we forget because it slowly goes away. But I believe another hallmark of health is how when you eat food, how quickly do you get that signal that, you know, making you cold, and to what extent. So obviously when it first started, it's just a little bit, but now it's like, you know, I really feel that cold. I want a blanket, get one, put one of my fleece jackets on or something, because I can feel that. So in the summertime it's not such a big deal, but in the wintertime, you know, I miss that heat because that blood is going for that gut and optimized. So by the way, that's not a good time to go exercise when you got a lot of food in your stomach and, you know, your blood is going there and it's not going to your muscles instead of performance. So I fast before I exercise, and that's a good illustration of why I fast and why I exercise in a fast state, because I don't want to be sharing blood supply. I'm like maximizing digestion when I'm eating and I'm not exercising, and I am maximizing, exercise, that blood flow, and I'm not pushing blood to the stomach. And so this is why I do a feast and fasting form of eating. So I fast every week for 3 days and sometimes 4 days. And during that time, I am crushing it with my exercise. I am exercising really hard, the hardest I can during my maximum part of my fasting. When it comes to eating, I'm not exercising anymore. I'm trying it out, see how I do, and right now I'm loving it. I'm getting great gains, I feel fantastic, and so I highly recommend, because I think that's what we would have done. I think we would have caught a bison or a woolly mammoth or whatever, and we would have eaten that thing for 2 days, maybe 3 days, filled our stomach, and we wouldn't have been running around. We would, we wouldn't have had to hunt anymore. We would have just eaten that food, and then once that food is gone, we go right back at it and do it again. So anyway, give it a try and see what you think. Watch for when you get cold when you eat, and see if that happens. So anyway, hope these are some strategies that you can figure out and try out for yourself. As always, if you like this video, give me a like, okay? Push this, give it a like button, smash that button. The cool people say smash that button. And also consider subscribing if you like this content, and do a notification so when I produce a video, it's out there for you to be able to take a look at. And again, as always, I welcome your comments. If you follow me, you're probably, I hope, right, maybe a little quirky, because I'm not your typical kind of physician. And I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your questions. When you ask questions, I like to answer them. And can you think of anybody else in your life that you can share this to that could benefit from this video and get this insights? Because I'd like to be able to reach more people. And I told you I was going to share with you what the biggest problem in humanity is, and that's why I like to get a lot of followers to address that. The biggest problem in humanity is chronic disease. So nothing else costs more money. We do not throw any more money at any other problem than chronic disease. It's the largest part of our economy is healthcare, and over 90% of it is chronic disease. Addressing that, it's a total waste of money, because it's almost always completely preventable. It's just that people don't know what to do. And so the whole system is telling them to do the wrong thing, and they get all this chronic disease. We have never been so diseased in the history of Homo sapiens, the existence of Homo sapiens, as we are today, because we're doing the wrong things. So the biggest problem in humanity is chronic disease from the standpoint of cost, and also nothing reduces human productivity more. When you get chronic disease, take a look at your parents, your grandparents. They're slowing down, they're falling apart, they can't do as much. You don't get the old guy to join, with exceptions, some people, to do some kind of critical life-saving mission or activity. You get the younger, more able-bodied person, because the younger ones do a better job most of the lot. But in the past, guys and women with gray hair, because they knew more and they were healthy. Today, us gray-haired guys are not healthy, because we've had so much chronic disease from poor lifestyle choices that has compromised us. So productivity, nothing compromises human productivity more than chronic disease. Nothing reduces quality of life more than chronic disease. As you get more chronic disease, you are going to enjoy your life and living less and less all the time. But get rid of that chronic disease, and you start recovering your capacity for enjoying life. Call it health span, quality of life goes up. And the last thing is, nothing kills more people than chronic disease. All right, nothing kills more. This is the biggest problem. Kills more people, costs us more money, reduce human productivity more, reduce quality of life more. Why in the Hades are we talking about this? This is a big problem. I'm talking about it, and I'm telling you that you've got to start paying attention to it. So first thing you do is cut out processed foods, okay? And then you want to do high intensity exercise. You want to get yourself out into the sunshine, get natural exposure to sunshine without sunscreen on you for a little bit. Get some of those natural hormones being produced to correct your body, and do resilient activity, resilient exercises. So sprinting, maximum high intensity weightlifting, resistance training, do a sauna, do cold showers, and fast. These things build heat shock proteins, okay? They're bad activities to make you a tough guy, I'm gonna say a bad word, make you a tough guy, and you want to follow, you want to do those kind of things, and then you want to stop doing bad things like eating processed foods and the wrong kind of food, okay? So do tough guy things, tough lady things. You got to be that alpha female, alpha male, and you got to cut out eating bad foods, okay? So keep following me to learn more optimizing tips, and we'll see you next time in another video. Dr. Sean out.